it's Planner Colleen. So I am finally getting down to doing my planning 101 video. I think the reason I have struggled to record this is because there is just so much to include in it, and I want to make it as compact as possible. So when I first joined the planning community, I found it very overwhelming. There was just so much to take in. I didn't know what type of planner I wanted. To be honest, I didn't even know the reason why I wanted to start planning. There was loads of different brands, styles, rings, strings, hybrid, Midori, faux dories, different sizes, everything. So I originally started with Midori Traveler's Notebook. So the reason I started with Midori is because my uncle had originally bought one for himself, and then my auntie bought one, and then she started sending me on links to videos on Midori layouts and spreads, and I was just absolutely hooked. And from there it spiraled drastically out of control. I haven't always been a huge planner person. When I started with Midori, I fell in and out of it, and I think in the last 2 years I've really just found my planner piece. You're going to hear that phrase a lot in this community, and I personally use it as like a form of mindfulness. I love sitting down at my desk and creating something. I love decorating my planners, and I think I more so use it as back planning as opposed to planning forward. Like, I will write in birthdays and things like that. I tend not to write down my goals for the week, and the reason being is because at the end of the week, then if I haven't achieved them goals, I'm obviously going to be upset with myself. So I rather to sit down at the end of the evening or at the end of the week and go through what I have achieved. That way I feel more accomplished. I'll get into all that later, but firstly I'm going to start out with the different types of planners and sizes, and we will go from there. So because I originally started off with Midori in my planning experience, I thought it only right to start off by showing you my Midoris. So Midoris are basically a rectangular piece of leather, usually held together by an outside string. And on the inside then you have strings that will hold your inserts together. So these are inevitably like notebooks. And what you do is you slide the notebook from the center page through the strings, and then that is how it is bound. So this is the camel, the official Midori Traveler's Notebook in the passport size. So once I started with Midori, I found a lot more companies that would be referred to as faux dories or strings planner basically. And what they do then is it's very similar. They're using a similar design with the strings and their own leathers in different colors, because what you'll find is the official Midori Traveler's Notebook won't have like a super cute pink color. So if you're into different colors and things like that, then you are going to go down the road of buying a planner from a different shop. Some of the most popular shops that do make Midori type planners would be Foxy Fix or Speckled Fawns. I know they're two very well-renowned planner makers as well. So in the world of Midori, there is loads of sizes. In the world of planning, there is loads of sizes. But generally in the Midori official world, you have passport and original. So for a while I was in my passport, and then I had moved over to the original. So this is the limited edition navy one. Now Midori have come out with a regular to their lineup, and it's a blue color, so it's not as dark as this navy. I had originally set this up to use this year, but I haven't jumped in at all. So I have this one set up for 2020, but I just didn't bite the bullet at all. So something that I'm going to cover later on as well is that when you're trying to find what type of planner you want, you do not have to spend a fortune. While the Midori Traveler's Notebook range it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap either. I'll always advise people, while you're trying to find your planner piece or what type of planner you want, I'd advise you to go onto eBay or AliExpress. This is an example of a faux dory that I got on AliExpress, and it is perfectly functional, very high quality, very high standard, and it came with inserts and everything, and I absolutely love it. I'm using this for just pen tests at the moment, or when I start off a new cartridge in my fountain pen. And like, I mean, the paper that came with the inserts is really good quality. It's a lovely smooth paper, and like, just for an example, I used it for fountain pens and there was a tiny little bit of bleed through. So that is the Midori or strings. And then another option that you have is a rings planner. So I don't think I could mention rings without mentioning the original planner people, which is Filofax. So I had always used Midori's or string planners for years, and around 2 years ago I bought this pre-loved Filofax on eBay for like €15, and from then on I have never gone back to a strings planner. I was completely converted. Again, it's not going to be for everyone. Rings planning just suited me best. So this is a Filofax pocket. Again, I'll go over sizes at the end, and there is literally, I'd say easily 50 different planner sizes that you can choose from. So this is your general rings planner. As I said, it's a pocket rings. So you'll have something called chunky pocket rings. So that is basically between 20 and 30 millimeter rings. In this Filofax pocket, the rings are 20 millimeter, which would actually be considered chunky. The rings can go up to 30 millimeter. One of the main reasons that I stopped using my pocket rings was because I couldn't fit everything in. The rings weren't chunky enough, so I moved on to an A6, and I truly believe that I found my planner piece with my A6. And as I said, I moved on from pocket then to A6, and this is my Aura Estelle A6 that I'm currently using at the moment. I absolutely adore it. I love the size, I love the colour, I love absolutely everything about it. It is in the colour Cherry Blossom. I'm just looking at it, it actually could do with a clean. When it comes to cleaning my planners, I'll start off with a damp cloth, and anything that won't shift after that, I'll use a magic eraser. So my Aura Estelle is what would be considered a hybrid planner. Hybrid is a very fancy word that they use in cars and everything these days, but in the planning world it means it's both rings and strings. So it's a lot. I love the cuteness of it, and that's my style of planning. As I said, it's not going to be for everyone, but there's just a lot. There's a lot in my planner, and as I said, it's not going to be to everyone's taste, and planning is very subjective like that. It's a way to express yourself as well. So that's what I will say about my planning layouts and things like that. It's a lot. So back to the world of hybrid planners. So as I was saying, a hybrid planner is a planner that has both a ring mechanism in it and strings, so that you can use it as both a ring insert planner and the idea of the Midori strings as well. So with Aura Estelle, you have the rings in the middle, and then you have strings on either side, on the front and on the back. So I don't have any inserts on the front, but on the back I have my shop coupon codes insert printout that I got from Annie Plans. So when you are making your decision as to what type of planner you want, there are numerous things to consider. So you have a choice between a TN, are a traveler's notebook, which would be like the Midori. You have rings, which has the ring mechanism in it, so that means that you're going to have to punch your inserts if you don't buy them. And then you have the hybrid, which is rings and strings. So that's 3 planner types. Now down to the brass tacks of it. There is so many different planner sizes. So you have A7, which is also referred to as pocket. You have A6, which is the same size as my current Aura Estelle that I'm using. You have A5 personal. Then you have your regular traveler's notebook, your passport traveler's notebook. You have a micro size. Then things get a little bit complicated. You have A6 wide, personal wide, pocket plus, A5 wide, B5 and B6. So I hope that this little picture summarizes it for you, just so you can get a rough guide as to the size of planners that are available. A lot of shops won't offer every single size, but they will offer a custom purchase, so you can email the shop and ask them if they do provide this service. So if you do find a size that you think would be perfect for you, then you can email the shop owner and see if they will make one to suit you. When you are trying to decide the size of planner you want, I'd advise you use measurements in this picture and just cut out a piece of paper and try writing on it and seeing if it fits your style of planning, if you can fit everything in, and go from there. Also take a screenshot of this as well if you want to keep it and use it as reference going forward. I don't know if the measurements are exact. I spent a good 3 or 4 hours creating this image, so I put a lot of effort into finding the measurements. I think they're correct, but as I said, I was just using Google as my resource, so they might be off by a couple of millimeters. So you will get a general guide as to what size they are and what best suits you. A lot of people have asked, like, what do you do with your planner? What do you write in it? Like, there are so many different things that you can use your planner for. You can use it for jotting down appointments. You can use it for budget planning, lists, drawing, writing, or even painting if you are very creative. A lot of people would use their planners for Bible studies, or memory planning, or memory keeping, and even if you just wanted to have a brain dump at the end of the day and to write down your thoughts and your feelings. Like, a problem shared is a problem halved, and I've always been of that opinion. And a lot of the time you might not want to share that thought or feeling with a person, so it is definitely helpful to be able to write it down. It does get stuff off your chest. The only type of forward planning I really do is for appointments or birthdays. Generally, I back plan, whether it be a day, 2 days, or a week. I try not to leave it go over a week, otherwise I'll fall out of the habit of keeping up with my planner. This is a very important note that I want people to take from this today, especially if you're new to planning. Do not, under any circumstances, invest in a good planner. They are not cheap. My Aura Estelle cost me over €100. So you have to bear in mind that you don't know what you like yet if you're new to this community. So before you invest, find a size and planner system that you know that you will love and enjoy and that you will keep up. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of money. If you buy something and a couple of months in, you're like, do you know what? The rings get in my way. I don't like them. Or if you invest in a traveler's notebook or a TN and a couple of months in, you decide, do you know what? The inserts are really just starting to annoy me. I hate taking them out and putting them in, or I'm just not using it. So I would advise you to either buy an extremely cheap one on AliExpress. As I've shown you, you can get very inexpensive planners on AliExpress for like €10. And my advice is always, you're probably sick of hearing me say this, but I will always say this when buying from AliExpress, is to upgrade your shipping to the AliExpress standard shipping if available, and you should get your planner within 2 or 3 weeks. So guys, moving on, I'm going to go through all the different fancy words or planner jargon that people will use in their videos or on Instagram, and you might be like scratching your head going, sorry, you said what now? So some of the items that us crazy planner people use in our planners don't have very common names. So I have a list made out here of some of the items that I have to show you that you won't see every day. So first off, I'm going to start with vellum. So vellum is very similar to grease-proof paper. It is somewhat see-through, as you can see, and we use this a lot in our planners to decorate it. It is another way to print your images or any of your dashboards or things like that. So I'm just going to show you, this is a blank piece that I got off Amazon that I use to print my own vellum designs on. So I'm just going to show you now in my planner a piece of vellum. So here, this is just a happy scrappy vellum that I got in one of my sub kits. So as you can see, it's got pink or purpley gold foil on it with the images. So that is a vellum. So it's just a different type of paper that is used to decorate your planner. Next up, I'm going to explain what acetate is. So if you're going to use acetate in your planner, it's very important that you get a printer-friendly acetate. So acetate is basically like see-through film, I would describe it as. So this is a printer-friendly acetate sheet that I got on Amazon. The company that I used is called Crafter's Companion. I generally would only use acetate when I am using foil. I'd usually use a laser printer. So what happens with laser printing is the toner will sit on the page, and then you can put the foil over it and run it through a laminator, and hey presto, you get a lovely shimmery piece of acetate. I'll see if I can find some acetate that I've made. So here is just a piece that I had. So I have printed over it with the Lux graphic, and then what I'll do is I'll lay foil over it and run it through my laminator, and it will come up in a lovely gold, a gold design then. This is an acetate that I got from Happy Scrappy with the magical Disney design. So Happy Scrappy's acetate is quite sturdy. So it's a little bit lighter than a credit card, but it's definitely thicker than the one that I have bought from Crafter's Companion. So I think the reason being is because she uses manufacturers to make her products, whereas if you're making them from home, you're going to have to run them through your printer, so it's going to have to be quite pliable so that the printer will be able to roll it up to print on. Next up, I suppose it's another thing that I was like, you said what now? Is a die cut. So a die cut is basically a cutout of an image. This is a wonton in a million die cut of wonton. So what I basically did was I laminated it just so that it would keep better. A lot of the die cuts that you will purchase online will be made of a very good quality cardstock, so you won't have to laminate them yourself. So a die cut isn't as gruesome as it sounds. It's usually just a really cute little image that is cut out, and then you can decorate your pockets of your planner with it. So another thing you're going to hear a lot of is washi tape. So washi tape isn't an item that you use to help clean or anything like that. It's an item that you're going to use to help decorate your planners. So I'm just going to get an example. So here I have some of my 1 ton in a million washi tape. So washi tape originally came from Japan, like a lot of the beautiful stationery supplies you're going to see in the planning world, and it is a form of decoration for your planner. So it is like a sticky back tape, but it's a lot finer than the likes of masking tape or as sellotape, and you'll see that as it rolls out it's on like a very fine paper. And this one and a lot of the higher quality washi tapes are waxed, so that just gives them a really smooth finish, especially if there's foiling on them. Washi tape was like the original way to decorate your planner before the sticker world just absolutely took off. There is literally millions of designs, there is different thicknesses. This would be the average size roll of washi tape. I think it's just over 1 centimeter. Yeah, it's 1.5 centimeters. And then you can get thicker washi tapes. This one is 2 centimeters. And then there is skinny washi as well. This is another one of my 1 ton in a million washi. So the skinny washi is exactly 1 centimeter, and you can get even thinner than that. You can get 0.5 of a centimeter as well. The important thing to know about washi is that collecting it is an addiction, and something that I'm going to cover later on as well in this video is that you do not have to buy all of the things, because it is addictive once you start purchasing all of the little bits and pieces to start your planning journey. It can be quite overwhelming when you look back and think about how much you have spent on everything. I've been doing this for years, so my collection has grown, and I'd say in the last year or two especially, it has grown rapidly. So start off with some of your favorite colors, and once you find a character maybe that you like, you can go from there. Another commonly used phrase is PWM, or plan with me. So when you are looking through YouTube or Instagram or anything like that for ideas or inspiration, you're going to find a lot of PWM videos or plan with me videos. So I find these videos are the most helpful videos if you're looking for some inspiration on how you want to decorate your planner or lay it out, or for any ideas that you might be struggling with. It's probably one of my biggest resources when finding new shops to purchase on, is from watching plan with me videos. So they are great fun to watch as well when you are just new. So I've already covered this a few minutes ago, but there are numerous different types of planners, between a dory, rings, hybrid and strings. So I think I've covered that already. Another word that you're going to hear a lot is dashboard or divider. So this little holographic one that I made is referred to as a dashboard, and then a divider would be more like something with a tab. So this is one of my type A for Alexa dividers. So basically dashboards or dividers are used to separate your planner between your planner section to your yearly section, your notes. So on top of them being used to divide your planner up into different sections, it's also one of the most fun ways to decorate your planner. Also, when you are scrolling through the likes of YouTube or Instagram, you're going to see a phrase called before the pen. So basically that's going to show you someone's layout when they have it all stickered up and decorated, and it's basically going to be an image of a weekly or monthly spread before they have physically written in anything on it. So this is a very plain and basic before the pen, basically because I tend to do my stickering as I plan throughout the week. One of the most common planner styles that will use a before the pen photograph is for Erin Condren spreads. This is my before the pen of my St. Patrick's Day week in my Erin Condren. It is also worth noting that an Erin Condren is also referred to as an EC. So if you see the letters EC, it just means Erin Condren. While I have this open, I'm going to go through some common phrases that are also used for Erin Condren. You will have a date cover, a full box, a half box, and element stickers. These stickers are from my planner Colleen shop, and this is the March kit that is currently available. I have it in a full kit, and you can purchase each sheet individually. So there is a full box sheet, a half box sheet, element sticker sheet, and a to-do list sheet. And then I have the Hobonichi Weeks kit that is available as well. So when I was speaking earlier about the vellum, I was going on about my Happy Scrappy sub. So sub, unfortunately, isn't a foot long or a 6-inch from Subway. Sub in the planner community is your subscription. So I have been a Happy Scrappy subscriber for nearly a year now. So a lot of shops are going to offer different subscriptions, including different things. I personally love my Happy Scrappy subscription because it gives me everything I need to be creative in my planner as well when I set it up. So if you are interested in joining a subscription, then I'd advise you to shop around, watch loads of YouTube videos before you make that commitment. As I said, I personally love Happy Scrappy. She is probably the most common subscription service that is out there, and a lot of the planner community have a Happy Scrappy sub, but you do not have to join a subscription. But it is just one of the things that does make it very, very easy to change out your layout for each season. You don't even have to change it out with the seasons. I'd say I change out my planner layout possibly every 2 to 3 months. Like this, for example, is from the autumn kit, so that will be moved in the next couple of weeks for me. Next up, I'm going to discuss something that I am obsessed with: paper. Ever since I was little, I have always been obsessed with paper. I used to love my Bible growing up because of the paper that was in it. I'd like to say it was because spiritually I referred to it, but unfortunately, if I have to be completely honest, that was not the case at all. I used to love the paper in the Bible, the really, really thin paper. So when I joined the planner community, as I said, I started off using my Midori Traveler's Notebook. And that was when I was first introduced to this amazing type of paper called Tomoe River paper. So this is one of the official Midori inserts that I have in passport size, and it is just the nicest quality paper that you could ever use. I absolutely adore it. So I would describe Tomoe River paper as being a very high quality paper that fountain pen users adore. It was created in Japan like hundreds of years ago, and it got its name from a river, as far as I know, that flowed nearby the factory that made the paper, whereas nowadays it's just become really, really popular in the planning community as well. Hobonichi is another planner brand that people use, and they have Tomoe River paper in their planners as well. So one of the things you're going to hear a lot about is foiling, and ironically enough, it isn't kitchen foil. It is a new technique that has sort of swept the planner world in the last 2 years. It is one of the cutest ways to decorate your planner. If you have either acetate or vellum, a lot of shops will use foil to actually show up the image, like on this piece of vellum, and a lot of sticker shop owners will have stickers that are foiled as well, and it really does bring your stickers to a whole other level. It's something I'm researching at the moment for my own stickers, but it is very expensive and it is quite difficult to master. Another thing that you're going to see a lot of as well is pockets. So it isn't the pockets in your pants, it's going to be pockets for your planner. So a couple of subscriptions ago, Happy Scrappy included sticky pockets in her sub kit. So these are so handy. So I'd use these a lot for either inserting some of my stickers or some of the freebies that you get from shops when you do purchase from them. And they're just so handy and so simple and very inexpensive. Now, if you want to up your pocket game, then another shop that I absolutely adore is Catspresso. So Catspresso is basically like the boss lady of planner pockets. A lot of them will be made out of this super nice, I think you'd call it vinyl. It's plastic, but it's like a vinyl plastic, and you can use these to hold your receipts or photographs, or as I said, stickers or notes or post-its or anything like that. So I actually only got this order in this morning. These were from her new releases. It's the first time she did A6 size. So I got the star and I got the snap closure trifold as well. So I haven't actually gotten to use these properly. Something I'm just going to say as well is I've purchased everything here myself. I am not in any way sponsored by these shops. Anything I recommend is because I have tried, used and absolutely loved and adored. I'm not going to recommend anything that I think isn't like 100%, so just bear that in mind. Another thing as well, when I was talking about subscriptions earlier, there is a lot of companies out there that will offer printables. So printables are basically digital files that you can get if you do decide to get a happy scrappy subscription as well as the physical product. She will also send digital files or printables that will be emailed to you probably a week before you receive your subscription in the post. As you will see in my A6 Aura Estelle, I have a very strong dangle game going on. So dangles and charms are another way to decorate your planner as well. I have these attached to the rings and some of them are attached to the strings in my Aura Estelle. So it's just something that when you are looking out for as well in your planner, that like you don't have to buy like super expensive ones either. I've bought some of mine from AliExpress. Like this little one is very inexpensive. I bought like 20 of them, so the rest of them are listed in my shop. They're only like €1.50. Yeah, they're only €1.50 and they've got the cute little stars. It's like a little star globe. I have the little juniper from Simply Gilded. I have this little rainbow was from Happy Scrappy, and of course I have little wonton from Wonton in a Million. There is so many ways to decorate your planner as well as the dangles. Then you could go into the whole world of paper clips and little bookmarks. Some of the shops that I love for my paper clips when I'm buying them would be Little Miss Daisy Rose and Dotty Moo Planner UK. You can find them on Instagram as well, so you'd be able to see everything, but like I'm a repeated customer of both of those shops. A lot of the time you're going to hear of people using either a Silhouette or a Cricut machine. So these are cutting machines that are used for cutting stickers or vinyls. So this Planner Girl vinyl I made myself using my Silhouette portrait. So these machines are not cheap by any means. I was very fortunate. I bought mine pre-loved from England. I got it on eBay. I think it was only like €80. But before I bought my Silhouette portrait, I used to print my stickers on sticker paper that I bought from Amazon, very inexpensive, and I also bought this gyro cutter. So I absolutely loved this when I first bought it. I don't really have any need for it anymore because I do have a Silhouette portrait to cut my stickers for me, but this little gadget is just ingenious. If you're new to the planning world and you want to make your own stickers, then I would 100% recommend buying this for yourself. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I think by like the second or third sheet of cutting stickers, I had gotten the hang of it, and you hold it just like a pen and you just pull it along the paper with a little bit of pressure, and the top blade, I'll just show you here now, the top blade on it rotates, which is the ingenious part, which will help you cut stickers in any which direction. So I definitely 100% recommending buying one of these if you are new to the planning world and you want to print and cut your own stickers. Another word that you're going to hear a lot of is kawaii. So kawaii basically means cute. So this gorgeous little Catspresso folder would 100% be considered kawaii. Little Juniper and all the little characters like Wonton and Steamy from Wonton in a Million, they're all considered kawaii designs or cute designs. So I definitely would consider my planning style to be kawaii because I'm just obsessed. I think it's like my inner child coming out in me. Like, I became an adult, got a full-time job, and now I can afford all the stationery in the world. So that's definitely my mental headspace when it comes to kitting out my planner. Another very simplistic way of planning is called boujou or bullet journaling. So bullet journaling is 100% not for me. It is very simplistic and it just is not my cup of tea. So bullet journaling is basically one of the most simplistic ways to plan. This is just a notebook that I got in the Muji store in Dublin. So if you look very closely in this, you can see there is little dots running vertically down the page to create the little boxes. So a lot of people that bullet journal will use grid paper, and it is probably one of the easiest ways to plan. It isn't my cup of tea. I have never tried it, but I think in summary it's just like a list, a very fancy word for lists. I'm very ignorant when it comes to bullet journaling. I've never tried it, but it is growing massively in popularity. So I can't give you any advice on boujou planning or bullet journaling, so I'd advise you just to watch loads of YouTube videos on it. It's very inexpensive to start off. All you need is a notebook. I'd say that about planning in general, especially if you are trying out sizes and you don't know what size is going to suit you. Like, this notebook only sent me back €3, and the Muji paper is amazing. I love it as well. So if you want to try out planning, then as I suggested before, print off some paper and cut it to size, or buy a cheap notebook in your pound shop or online or on Amazon, and go from there. You will know within a couple of weeks whether a size is going to suit you or not anyway. And finally, another very common phrase is planner piece. So planner piece is something that all people in the planner community strive to achieve, and we very rarely achieve it. So for me, I think I have found my planner piece with my A6 hybrid from Aura Estelle. The reason that this is suited to me at the moment is because I found the pocket size was just too small and wasn't suiting me, and A6 for me is just the perfect size. My only drawback with this A6 planner is that it is jam-packed full and it is very heavy to carry around. So you need to bear that in mind as well if you want a very big planner. Like, I use my Erin Condren weekly on my desk. It never goes into my handbag because that would be considered an A5 wide size. It's huge, so that never really leaves my house, whereas my A6 planner will come with me every day in my handbag, and I absolutely love it and adore it. So this is, for the time being, my planner piece. I think that's the majority of the random fancy words that you are going to see in the planner community. If you come across anything that I haven't included, just let me know down below and I will try and clear up any confusion or describe anything that you don't know. So the next bit that I think is very important for people who are starting out in planning or that are new to planning, and it's very important that they know, is the numerous benefits that planning has for anyone. It's endless. For me personally, the reason that I plan is because it brings out my creative side, and it's definitely, for me anyway, a form of mindfulness. It helps me unwind in the evenings after a hectic day in work, and there is nothing I love more than sitting down on my days off and creating something new, learning a new skill. And it is definitely a way that I express myself, and The planning community has just been so amazingly welcoming, and you're going to meet loads of new friends through it. Set yourself up an Instagram page and you will in no time find your planner besties. For me, I'm very lucky. I have numerous planner besties, but my number one planner bestie is my auntie, who introduced me to planning from day one. So before I start off, I just want you to know that I am categorically not a healthcare professional. What I am going to say about planning are my own thoughts and feelings and benefits that I have found from planning. It is just so good for your health, your happiness, for stress management, just to be able to brain dump and write things down. Creativity for me is a source to practice mindfulness, the same way that adult colouring books have taken off. Especially for me, I found that planning helped me identify my strengths and weaknesses. So my biggest strength that I have is my love for my friends and my family, and my biggest weaknesses, and I find planning really helps me to track my weaknesses, which would be overthinking and sleeping in. I love my sleep, but I am definitely an overthinker. So I find that planning really helps me to cope with that. A lot of people with mental health issues find planning a fantastic resource in helping to manage their feelings or helping to cope with a situation. Lists. The benefits of making lists are just endless. I love nothing more than making a list, whether it be for my weekly shopping, for Christmas, goals, or things that I have achieved in any given day. I love nothing more than making a good list. For me personally, I make lists at the end of the day to highlight what I've achieved. A lot of people will make lists at the start of the day as a goal going ahead. The reason I personally don't make lists at the start of the day is because it can also affect you in a negative way, because if you haven't achieved all your goals by the end of the day, it's going to get you down. So that's why I personally back plan when it comes to my lists. At the end of the day, I will write down what I have achieved and what I have done and reflect on it. So guys, I am moving on, finally nearly finishing up this Planning 101 video. I'm so sorry it's so long, but there is so much and I wanted to make sure that I covered everything. So finally, I'm going to go through my planner must-haves for starting out and a few of my tips and a little bit of advice before you get stuck in. A lot of people who may be watching this who are already in the planner community will know this, and hopefully you might pick up a couple of new ideas. So starting off, it's going to make your life a lot easier if you have a computer and a printer, simply because a lot of the resources in the planning community are available online. If it's a case that you don't, then you can always go to an internet cafe and you can print your stuff there. Or of course, if you have a really nice manager in work, you could ask if you could use the printer in work as well. One of the most used items that I have purchased is my laminator. My laminator was only like €20 that I got in Aldi in Ireland, and it was so inexpensive and I absolutely love it. It was a complete bargain. There is no end to the uses for a laminator. You can make dashboards. Like, dashboards in themselves are not only going to decorate your planner, but they will also help with the structure of the planner to make it more sturdy so it won't be as floppy. Next up in my must-have is a ruler. If you are going to start off in planning, then there is no end to what you can achieve with a ruler, especially if you want to try out bullet journaling or bijou planning. You can create so many beautiful spreads and layouts with your ruler. It is one of the most underrated items that I have in my planning area, and I would be absolutely lost without it. I recently upgraded to a metal ruler. This is quite inexpensive. I got it on Amazon. It's a Helix stainless steel ruler. Next up in my planner must-haves is highlighters. So these are very inexpensive. You can buy them anywhere in your local pound shop, are online or on Amazon. So there's so many brands out there. These are the Stablo Swing Cool highlighters that I have. I have mild liners, I have Faber-Castell highlighters. They are just so handy to use in decorating your planner as well, or to highlight a list or things you've achieved. Highlighters are one of the handiest go-to writing tools that I have. I absolutely love them. And a little tip that I have with highlighters is to highlight the page first and then write over it with your pen, because that will stop the ink in the pen smudging. And they just add so much colour to a blank page, especially in bullet journaling. If you are going to go down that road, in all sorts of planning, highlighters can be used, and I just could not recommend them enough. I love them. So more must-haves that I have on my list is either a Stanley blade. This one was very inexpensive. I got on AliExpress. It was only like €1.50, and a rotary cutter. So when I first started off in planning, I made my own inserts and I cut them all individually with the scissors. It took me like 4 hours to do a year's worth of inserts for my ring planner, and 4 hours sitting in the same spot cutting pages individually absolutely broke my heart. So when I was researching online, I noticed a lot of people had these amazing devices called rotary cutters. So this is a very inexpensive tool that you can get on Amazon. This one in particularly is the Fiskars rotary cutter, and you will need a metal ruler. So that is why I bought my metal ruler. So it just clicks out and you roll it along the metal ruler for a straight line when you are cutting your inserts, and then you just push that button back and it's safely stowed away. This little device is a game changer. It is up there with my gyro cutter in the sense of how it upped my planner game. It cut my time in making inserts down from like 4 hours for a year's worth of planner inserts to like half an hour or even under. Next up, if you decide to join the world of planning using a ring mechanism, you are going to need a hole punch. So the first hole punch I got was an individual hole punch. Again, I got this on Amazon. It was very inexpensive. It was only like €3 or €4, and I started off punching my planners one hole at a time. And what I actually did was I used a dashboard that came with my planner as a guide so that all of the holes for the rings lined up correctly. It took me quite a while to punch all my inserts, so after a while I upgraded and I bought a Rapsco hole punch. So this again is up there with my rotary cutter in terms of a game changer. The individual hole punch is amazing and it works perfectly, but this is a 6-hole punch, so you are just going to be able to punch through inserts so much faster. It can punch from pocket size up to A5 personal and so on. If you decide to go down the road of a traveler's notebook or a TN and you want to make your own inserts, it's so inexpensive. All you will need is thread, a thumbtack or staples, and if you look at my Annie Plans printables video on my channel, you will see how I use both techniques with staples and with sewing your own inserts for traveler's notebooks as well. Next up in my must-haves for starting off planning is this little double-sided tape dispenser. You can get these on AliExpress. They are so inexpensive. You can buy them in other shops as well. They are a little bit more pricey, but I have bought like a stockpile of these from AliExpress because I use them so much. I absolutely love them. It's a small little double-sided tape dispenser, and it just clicks open like this, and you can just run it along the page in order to stick something down. Especially if you're memory planning, these are so handy for on the go. They will fit into your purse, your handbag or your pencil case, and they are perfect for sticking down the likes of ticket stubs, boarding cards or receipts or things like that as well. And last but not least, if you have watched some of my other videos, you will know that I am obsessed with post-its. So post-its are so inexpensive. You can get very simple plain ones like this, or you can get super cute little Sanrio post-its. The majority of my post-its I have gotten from the likes of AliExpress. This little post-it stack is from Happy Scrappy. You can get post-its in like nearly every shop, like a pound shop, or even the Range I find really good for really nice ones, or even TK Maxx in their stationery section. So post-its are such an inexpensive accessory for your planner as well. Even if you want to do a kawaii layout like I do with all of these cute little characters, or you can do something very basic as well and simplistic or pastel, so it doesn't have to be very messy or complicated like a lot of my planning is. Another little thing that I would be absolutely lost without is my little whiteout or Tipp-Ex roller. It is a crime to use liquid Tipp-Ex or liquid whiteout in your planner because it is just going to absolutely ruin it. So I find these little whiteout rollers so much neater to use. I again get mine for very inexpensive on AliExpress for less than €1, and I tend to stockpile them when I do buy them. When I say don't use Tipp-Ex, that it's a sin or it's a crime, like, listen, that's just me. I'm a perfectionist. My advice would be to draw a line through it with a ruler, of course, or put a sticker over it, or again use correction tape. It just is so much neater, and I just find that the liquid version absolutely ruins your planner. Also guys, something that's very important to bear in mind is that there is no right or wrong way to plan. It's very personal. It is definitely an opportunity for you to be creative, and not everything you see when you start scrolling through Instagram or YouTube is going to be to your liking or to your taste. Some people are very minimalistic, some people will be girly and have pastel spreads, and in my case I have very kawaii related spreads and very cutesy. That isn't for everyone. It's just what I like personally. What you like, someone else may not like either. And it can go from anything from like super cute and girly and pink to black and white and retro or gothic, and that's to everyone's own liking, and not everyone is going to like the same things, and unfortunately that's just the way life is. So don't feel pressured into anything either. You don't have to plan the way another person plans. Planning is about you and what you like, and I think it's very important that you take that away from today as well. So I hope that I have included everything. If I've left something out or you have any questions, please just let me know in the comment section down below, or send me a mail and I will try my best to answer it if you have any questions. I think some of the advice that I hope you take away from this video is not to spend a fortune. You do not have to. Make sure you know what type of planner you want before spending a small fortune on it. You do not have to buy all of the things. I think that is very important as well. And if you're looking for some inspiration or ideas, then just follow some hashtags to plannerify your Instagram feed. There is always competitions on Instagram as well from all of the various shops, and some of my favorite resources for buying stuff for my planner as well as AliExpress is also Etsy, and you will find a lot of these shops once you start following some of the planner related hashtags on Instagram. Thank you so much guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me the thumbs up. It is always appreciated, and of course if you so wish, please click that subscribe button. Thanks. Bye.